Right, lads, we're back again. It's going to be UFC. I don't know where it is actually. Sorry, that's my own fault. Just Fight Night Izzy, basically, is all I'm going to call this. Just Fight Night. Obviously, it's Izzy versus Pyfer in the main event. Co-main is Macy Barber versus Grosso. And the rest of the card isn't great. This is going to be probably the shortest one I've made yet, where I'm not rushing to catch a train. But honestly speaking, sitting down here and sitting, because to be honest, the odds in this card are fucking shit. I'm going to have to be realistic off the bat. A lot of basically debutants and a lot of UFC fighters are very heavy favourites, but we will get down to that. Enough of my shy talking. Our lock landed last week. I knew kind of made the switch on the day, but I knew Bronson Perisic. Basically, I knew Louis Sutterfield was going to just walk brainlessly into him with no real setup, no real regard, just boom, 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 and he's finished. But anyways, enough of my shit talking. Let's get down to the lock of the week.
Terrace T-Rex McKinney!
And yes, so this week's lock of the week is going to be the big man T-Rex himself, Terence McKinney. Now, Terence McKinney's average fight time in the UFC is 2 minutes 46 seconds, and if it makes out round 1, Terence loses. Now, this is why I'm picking him here for round 1. I think 6-5 is kind of mad. The man has never won a fight outside of round 1. Kyle Nelson's a hard man to beat. The Canadian has a strong chin and he's hard to put away, but I do believe with the car crash sort of style that Terence McKinney has, there's not a lot that Kyle Nelson can do. He doesn't work well against pressure. And now I know I'm using Steve Garcia as an example, someone who will more than likely fight for a title by near the end of this year. But at the same time, Steve Garcia, he rushed him, he got him down, and he finished him. Again, I can see Terence McKinney being able to do that. Terence McKinney's clean boxing, good submission game when he gets on top. That guillotine's very solid. Very likelihood that Terence McKinney runs straight through Kyle Nelson here today. Kyle Nelson's beaten absolutely no one in the UFC. Bake Blender, Patilla, no one good at the same time. I'm trying to think without having to look it up, but the man has physically beaten absolutely no one. And again, I don't think Terence McKinney's the top of the crop. The one time he fought Chris Duncan, he done what I'm saying. He went for the car crash stuff. Of course, he got caught an elbow and finished. But at the same time, the car crash stuff here could work against someone like Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson did beat Matt Fiorillo, where he actually probably finished Matt Fiorillo, and then Bill Algeo, no one realistically, when you lose a decision to Jai Herbert, get finished by Billy Q, and Doi Hoi Choi by decision or draw. They're not the most impressive things. It's one of those ones where I can just see Terence McKinney being able to come through here, run straight through him, and that be it. Again, if this gets past the first round, we're fucked, but I don't think so. I think Terence McKinney takes this at 6-5, and we'll move down to the favourites. So, we're on the favourites here now, and to be honest, I'm not going to waste too much time this week. I'm going to be realistic with you. I really don't think much time or much point of me wasting too much time. Macy Barber versus Alexa Grasso. Of course, this fight happened, I think it was nearly 6 years ago now at this point. Grasso won it on her way to the title. To rematch, this is good matchmaking, if I'm being personally honest, because it happened in 2021. At the time, Macy Barber was 8-1, bit fresher in the division, and I think at this point she's figured out her style. It's more defensive wrestling. It's kind of just trying to take control inside a fight, and when you get on top mount, do some damage but don't get the finish. I think the first fight was just basically her walking into Grasso's punches, not really having much of a boxing setup. She definitely has a better boxing setup now, but again, Alexa Grasso has proven that her grappling isn't brilliant when you get her into most spots, but she is still good. But I do think she's on a bit of a decline, so I will take Barber to win this one. Probably this scrape 29-28 split. I don't see a finish. I don't really see anything else. Next we move into Bahamondos. Now Bahamondos is a weird one because he is fighting Tariq Malsilvilov. That's the best thing I'm going to say. He has 18 knockouts and he's only lost by 1. He has 2 submissions, 4 losses by submission, and he's literally only gone to decision 3 times his whole career, and that's out of a 29 fight career. At the same time, he was Kimura'd by Mitalorabai inside the first round, so his last one inside the UFC was okay, and he's finished with all the Japanese. A lot of people outside the UFC has been rising for a very, very long time. If I'm going to look at this from a realistic standpoint, Bahamundos in his most recent fight had a pretty close fight with Rafael Fiziev. He did lose, but he had a pretty close fight with him. He's taken out Julian Turner, Manuel Torres, all the finishes. I actually think Bahamundos gets the finish here. I think he actually breaks this whole thing and just finishes Tariq Marasov here to end it. He is 5'9", fighting 6'3", with 79 inch to like a 75, I want to say, a 75.5. The reach advantage is there. Bahamundos will use that reach advantage perfectly. A head kick in the first round is what I'm going to say, but I will say Bahamundos by knockout. I'll take him at 10-17, just inside the ACA. We'll move ahead. Then we move into Chase Hooper, who fights Lance Gibson Jr. Now, to be honest, Lance Gibson Jr. was basically a punching bag against King Green. Didn't get any of his own offense going, guys. Didn't get his feet moving. King Green just battered him. Again, I can see the exact same here, but I can see Chess Hooper probably just being able to take him down and control him. Subs on the cards, but this would be another easy one. Unfortunately to me, I just think Lance doesn't look good at really anything that he does. He looks pretty poor on the feet. He just basically walked into King Green for the whole fight and got absolutely pieced. Chess Hooper doesn't really have the same boxing levels, but again, the takedowns are there. Lance didn't show any takedown defense in a lot of his fights I've watched inside Bellator. It's one of those ones where he has a few triangle chokes, but it's all against lads that, like, you have to think in 2024 for Muscle Shoot Fight Night, he fought someone who's now 22-51, and he is in the UFC, so anyone has a chance, I guess. But look, Chase should win that one pretty simply. And now we'll just move down to T-Rex. Of course, I said all this inside the lock. I don't need to talk about it again. He runs through him inside the first round. And we will move down to the underdogs. Now, there's not a lot in this. There's only 2 underdogs because, like I said, the odds are terrible. You know, and you have Michael Chiesa, what is it, like 10-19. You know the odds are very poor, and I don't care. It's his retirement shield. Shouldn't be on the main card. Like, it's, you know, it's Nico Price, and he will win that pretty easily. But moving to Julian Erosa to start off with. Now, he's fighting Yair Douglas. Now, Yair Douglas is someone who I'm not that impressed with, to be 100% honest. I thought Cam Teague is, you know, Cam Teague's gotten 3 chances on the Contender Series. It's been knocked out in the first round every single time. I'm not sure what the affinity with this man is. I'm not sure why the UFC love him, but he's gotten so many chances. His probably most notable win is probably Javier Reyes, who's now inside the UFC. Again, that wasn't a great fight. He's lost to Chape Mascal, is probably the most important person he's lost to, but 5 losses on the regional scene. He's just someone with power and that can stand. He's a gunslinger, that's his nickname. He has power, but again, his core fundamentals of MMA just aren't there. He'll be able to be taken down very easily inside his fight by Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa's chin should be able to hold up against the power. This is going to be a veteran performance. I'll go with a decision of, actually I'm just going to 30-27. I think Julian Erosa wins this very, very easily. Julian Erosa has been not in the greatest amount of form with himself, but again, with 31 fights and 12 losses, 8-8 in the UFC. Like, again, he took out Darrell Elkins, D-Rod, Rodrigo Ramos. The only real people I've beaten him were Milky Miguel Costa, of course, Alex Caceres, Suo Choi. He's taken out a lot of people inside this division. I think this is just another one that he's going to finish he's going to get the decision on. And then the last person we're going to have is Yusur Bergali. Now, again, he's a kickboxer. He has multiple kickboxing fights outside the UFC. He is very dangerous on the feet. His probably most notable loss is probably Marco Tulio, who's actually still in the UFC. He's gone on a pretty good run since then. He's beaten a lot of people, all outside the UFC besides Amzak Barafov, which was a really, really good finish because Iron had never really been finished. It's the first time he's been knocked out. Bargos finished him. To me, Mansur Al-Dalik is just someone I don't think is that good. He's really fought no one. Like, he's fought the who's who of absolute shit in the UFC. Like, Dusan Trbojevic, I like him, but he's not great. Nick Klein, not great. Decision overturned on Cody Brundage, as it was a majority decision. Like, again, he went to decision with Cody Brundage, yeah, okay, and then Antonio Catroli, which he finished in the first round. He's finished all these people, but they're just not high level real fighters. Like, he's 9-0, but again, it's a bit fraudulent. He hasn't really fought anyone. I can see the finish coming here for Bulgari. Insides 1 or 2, if you have that option, I can see that landing. And anyways, that's actually going to be the video, because again, the odds in this video and the odds in this card are fucking shit, so I realistically have nothing else to talk about here. And the ACA is about 3-1. I can't show it in the video. But anyways, if you did enjoy the video, please hit the like button or hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.